physical, tough, and heated game. Field position and turnovers had a lot to do with the outcome today. I give Coach Fuente and Virginia Tech credit. Their defense played exceptionally well, had us behind the chains the majority of the day, which made it difficult to convert on third down. Every opportunity that you have a chance in a game like this, you have to capitalize. So we had a chance for a field goal that would have tied the score, and we had a drive that we were sustaining there, and believed that we had a chance to possibly get a touchdown there. Ultimately, in a 10-0 game, again, 3 to 5 plays make up most games, and that was no different today. So we fell short, especially offensively, executing well enough, long enough, and in critical moments enough to match the score of our opponent.
Were you concerned coming in that Tech's defensive line and front seven could dominate the way they did, and that would pose problems? We
had a lot of respect for Virginia Tech from the beginning. Again, they're giving up about 15 points a game, and I think they're coached well defensively, and they did a really nice job. We knew we had to have the ball get to the perimeter and downfield some to soften that, and we didn't get the ball on the edges or downfield enough. And so those matchups went in their favor.
Two things: that the reverse call on Donnie Dowling's catch, how much did that take a little wind out of the sails for you guys?
Well, I think it took wind out of the sails, but as a program, you've got to overcome those, and we still had another down, and so, man, if nothing else, we have to get a field goal there, and so I just the frustration and some of the penalties that we had down the stretch, that has to be now shaped and moved into preparation in advance to execute at a higher level, and anything after the play doesn't do anything other than hurt us.
That was my next question. If you could speak a little more to Andrew Brown's ejection and Donnie's personal foul.
Yeah, it's not what I want our program to represent. I don't believe in it. I don't tolerate it. There'll be obviously accountability for it, and all it does is hurt the team. And so my job is to continue to elevate the threshold of our program to where that kind of behavior just is gone. And all we see is tough physical play within the whistles. And that's all we see. And any of the other stuff that happens, and any of the residue that's left over from before, my job is to flush it all out. And there's still some that showed up today.
You haven't made a field goal over 40 yards this season. Hadn't hurt you up till now. Just talk about your thoughts leading into that missed field goal.
Well, we were really confident that from all the practice work we've seen, and even though we haven't attempted many, man, we just I'm not sure any of us even gave it a thought that we wouldn't make it. So we have a lot of confidence in AJ, and just we're surprised when it didn't go through. So I'm not sure what else to say.
Obviously not the result you wanted, but 10 points for a defensive effort. What was it that was so effective defensively for you guys?
Just Quinn and Micah led the preparation all week, and the game mattered to them. Our performance matters to them. Our program matters to them, and they led by example. And our assistant coaches worked really hard. Our whole staff worked really hard. The matchup went, again, just in Virginia Tech's favor. The gap has closed, and that's obvious, I think, to anyone, but not enough to where we won the game. And anyone that doesn't say that, I don't think, watched the same game.
How big a factor was the inability to run the ball consistently?
Huge. Because it puts so much pressure on our quarterback, and our quarterback is a very good player. Not kind of a good player, he's a very good player. And wow, the catch by Andre Livroni, I mean, did you all see that? I mean, holy cow. That's one of the greatest catches I've ever seen, where he tracked it over his head, and that throw and catch was, all we needed was just a couple more of those, and this game is like dead even. Unfortunately, we didn't make them, but that's not being able to run it made us one-dimensional, and when you're one-dimensional, you're easier to defend. But I like our players, and I thought they competed hard. We just didn't make enough plays today.
I know you said you'll take time, obviously, to think about everything big picture, but 6 wins in year 2, a year after winning 2 games, a pretty remarkable turnaround. How would you assess what you've accomplished to this point?
I love my team. I love my coaches. We're making steady and consistent progress, and we have significant work to do, and I'm really relishing the chance to be with my team more now all the way up to the bowl game to develop and develop and develop and develop and develop. This is not a time off. They're going to be tired, and they need to be. We have a chance to develop young players, rest some older ones, recruit like crazy all at the same time, and we get a chance to play one more game. And I would love a chance to have these guys win and be successful one more time. It's not the same program it was a year ago. The results certainly show that, and I think it's just the beginning.
Along those lines, you'll have several weeks of bowl practices. Do you go into those with the goal not only to win the bowl game, but to get a jump on 2018?
Oh, yeah. Totally. There's multiple parts. So the assistant coaches are recruiting like crazy, and then Coach and I and myself and Coach Wintrick, with kind of a skeleton staff, we're developing younger players, maximizing the amount of practices we get, up until the point we have a very specific bowl game model where we start preparation for the opponent. So there's recruiting, there's player development, and then there's the schematic preparation for our bowl game. We can do it all at the same time. And by the way, the strength and conditioning is going on at the same time. So the idea is to get the equivalent of an extra spring practice with a lot of our younger players before we get to spring practice.
Your younger players who emerged, Mandy Alonso at defensive end, Chris Glazer at tackle, maybe kind of untold stories. What happened to elevate those guys as this year went on?
Injury and performance, or lack of performance at a couple offensive line spots, made us have a hard decision with Chris, but man, he already is a good player, but we love our first-year offensive lineman. He's just the one that you're seeing play. We like some others as well, and Mandy, he's exactly what we want as a first-year D lineman, and he made his debut as a starter against Georgia Tech, played really well against Miami, and did so again today. And at a position we need more depth, we need more physical players, and we need more physical presence, and Mandy is doing a really nice job. There's plenty of others that I can mention. Joey Blunt as well is gonna. We like our 17 class, and we'll push as many forward as we can, or push them as much forward as we can through this next time period before we play. But again, it just seems like we're just barely breaking ground of what I think our program's going to do, and so yeah, onward.
Keep playing the game was the sharp fumble. Did you see anything on the exchange? Or?
No, it wasn't on the exchange. He had possession of it. I had a good view of that one for once, and it looks like the Virginia Tech defender just put his helmet on the ball and it came out, and that hurt. Totally, that hurt just because it led to the only touchdown, and that doesn't mean it had to lead to a touchdown. It was just a short field, and Virginia Tech threw and caught the ball a couple times. We had a missed assignment in the play in the end zone. We got him to third down. But yeah, any short field and any momentum shift in a game like this where the score is tight, it hurts.
Bronco, compared to last year, does going into a bowl season feel completely normal and natural to you?
It does. That's all we know. My staff, they don't know any. Last year was the abnormality. We don't know anything else, and we have a model. If you flip to the policy manual, you open it, and it just we know exactly what it looks like. And I'm grateful that these players worked hard enough to help us get back to that, and it will accelerate our program, which we need and which we want. And again, we lost the game today. There's still progress being made, and I'm not just going to focus only on the loss because we did some things today that I really liked in a pretty tough setting against a good team.